Nancy Pelosi has come and gone from Taiwan. And as soon as her plane departed, Chinese military drills began in earnest on all sides of the island. Ships, planes, live fire exercises on full display. The whole visit was essentially a finger in the eye of Chinese President Xi Jinping. And Pelosi ended that visit with one last poke.
That there are certain insecurities on the part of the president of China as to his own political situation, that he's rattling a saber. I don't know.
She says she doesn't know, but one thing we do know is that the speaker's visit showed America's commitment to supporting the democratic island. But that sign of solidarity could come at a tremendous cost. The Chinese have been outwardly angry about this from Jump Street, perhaps enough to provoke an invasion of Taiwan, which would ultimately probably lead to a third world war. Gordon Chang is the author of The Great U.S.-China Tech War. Mike Rogers is a former congressman and previously chair of the House Intelligence Committee. They join us live to talk about this tonight. Thank you for stopping by NewsNation Tonight. Gordon, let's start with you. How will the Chinese react here, not just to Pelosi's visit, but that final slap of Xi on the way out?
Well, first of all, they've declared 6 live fire exclusion zones. And one of those zones is actually so close to Taiwan that it impinges on Taiwan's territorial water. This is extremely provocative. We talk about Pelosi poking Xi Jinping in the eye, but Xi Jinping doesn't need an excuse. Right now, he's got his troops deep into Indian-controlled territory. He's trying to take away Second Thomas Shoal from the Philippines in the South China Sea. On Friday, 4 Chinese warships loitered in Japanese territorial waters in the East China Sea. China's lashing out, and this is nothing really to do with Pelosi. This has to do with the Chinese political system, extremely militant right now, dealing with problems at home that it can't solve, and trying to find a foreign enemy. So we've got to be concerned. We've got to be deeply concerned, but let's not think that we're poking them in the eye.
Congressman Rogers, we see these drills underway around Taiwan. All the Chinese need to do is set their sights a little more inland, it sounds like. Following the speaker's visit, do you think Taiwan is more safe with the U.S. support behind it, or are they less safe because of what Pelosi did?
Well, first of all, there's 2 problems here. One was the kerfuffle here in the United States. We should have absolutely been on the same page between the administration and the House of Representatives. There should have been no leaking to the press that this wasn't appropriate. It wasn't. That never helps our position in the world. It certainly didn't help here. But I agree with Gordon. Listen, there is no chance that this particular event would spur the Chinese to go into the island of Taiwan. They've been doing these drills and these exercises for months and years. They have been getting a little bit more brazen, a little bit more aggressive. But they've been at this for a very long time, including, by the way, marine training on vessels that would allow them to go across the straits and land Marines on the island. So they've been doing all of these activities. What I think they wanted was for the United States to back down. They wanted to be able to show the rest of the world that they could, rattle their saber, thump their chest, and the United States would back down. That's what they were hoping to do. And I think in that regard, I think Taiwan is a little bit safer today than they were yesterday.
I'd like to play another comment from the House Speaker today for you guys. Listen to this.
I think that they made a big fuss because I'm Speaker, I guess. I don't know if that was a reason or an excuse, because they didn't say anything when the men came.
Gordon, she wondered aloud whether opposition to her visit might have been sexist. But in addition, she said it could have been for a reason or an excuse. What do you think? Were the Chinese upset because she was speaker, or were they already looking for a bone to pick with the U.S.?
I think they were already looking for a bone to pick. When you start to think about what China has been doing, it is extremely militant. And the problem here is that we often will blame ourselves. We'll think that we're the actors here, but we're really not. It is the Chinese that are actually driving all of this. And, Xi Jinping right now, he's got a political problem. He wants an unprecedented 3rd term, but he's got all of these debacles at home. So China has never really been more dangerous than it is now. And President Biden, Congressman Rogers was absolutely right. President Biden needed to be on the same page with the Speaker of the House. And the fact that he wasn't really opened the door to China to be more more aggressive than it had to be, because he was basically saying to the Chinese, look, we don't like this, so why don't you try to intimidate us?
Gordon Chang, Distinguished Senior Fellow at the Gatestone Institute, and former Congressman Mike Rogers, who chaired the House Intelligence Committee. Thank you both for staying up and joining me on the show tonight.